So welcome to RES 240, and I know this is an unusual format to start our semester, but I am actually right now in Prescott giving a speech on your self-talk and how to fix your self-esteem. All the same stuff that I talked to you about. I'm now having the ability to talk to other preceptors who will be having you as their student. I'm able to talk to directors and other students. So should be 3 different types of people at this conference, and my hope is to be able to influence each and every one of them to think about what they say, use their words accurately to try to convey a meaning that is positive, that builds you up as a student, helps you become the best version of yourself. Yes? Okay, so let's talk about our syllabus. So we're going to be RES 240, so we're going to have Wednesday class, going to start at 7 a.m. and end about 9:30. And we will have the same type of format, but instead of Monday, Tuesday together, we cram it all into one day. And I know this will be a more difficult semester for you because instead of having your classes all spread out, you've got a couple days of clinicals, and then you're going to take all your learning, you're going to cram it into 3 days. So we have to get the most out of our time together. Yes? I expect to see heads nodding. Yes. Okay, so textbooks, we're going to use cardiopulmonary book that we have been using all along. I don't use Egan's, as you know. We have, for the very first weeks, we have chapters 1, chapter 2, and chapter 9. So you've already gone over 2. So that should be a refresher. Chapter 9 is a lot of information. We will focus mostly on the lower airway and into the lungs. 9 talks about how the brain works and how the neuro part of how a breath begins. So we're going to do that on the 23rd, which is today. You're watching this. The 30th, the 6th, and then boom, there's an exam coming on the 13th, which will be here on campus in one of the computer labs. So this is a lot of information in a short period of time. Therefore, you have to do your part in order to be successful in this class. Then we have right after the first exam, we do chapter 3 and 4. And then exam on the 11th. We then go to 5, 12, and 13, exam on the 8th of November. And then we finish with 6, 8, and 15. There is no exam on those 3 chapters, 6, 8, 15. I just tie those, roll those right into the final exam. So, a lot of information, a lot of chapters. Some of them is review because you've already done chapter 4, you've already done chapter 6. So, hopefully, even though I add in the new chapters, you will be able to keep up with it. But you got to do your part. All right, so moving on. Attendance and grading policy. You should be in my class. If there's a reason, if you're not going to be there, please let me know. So I have some idea what's going on with you. If you need extra help, you know where to find it. You come through that door, you sit in my office, I give you help. We have tutors available, or will have available, I'm working on them now, and you have your classmates, and then of course you always have me. All right, academic standards, you can, before that, you can record the videos, record my class as well. And academic standards, you're going to do your own work, and Chat GPT is not going to do it. In number 6 under academic standards, you see no general artificial intelligence allowed in this class. So I want your ideas, not what a computer can figure out. Then we have early alert. If you fail an exam, you're going in early alert. It's not a punishment. It is required by me as part of the college that if someone's not doing well, then I have to provide extra assistance, which is done through early alert. Then you have on the page, you've got all your help the Career Center Counseling, you've got the library, you got the Learning Center, and then on the 45th day, which is October 3rd, is the last day to withdraw. I don't think anyone's withdrawing, but if you, after that day, I don't withdraw you, you have to get a grade, whatever that grade is. Again, examinations, 70%. This is the last semester that you will have 70% with me. Next semester it's 75, but right now I left it at 70. You got to have a 70 on your exams to pass, which, would you really want someone who got a 62 working on you? So the threshold, if you fail an exam, you repeat the exam, the greater or higher score goes on to your GPA. You must have a cumulative of 70 to sit for the final. So I don't believe anyone in this class would be below that, but we want to make sure that we are in the 90s. We want to be excelling in this course. We want to have high expectations of what we can achieve. Yes? So, if all that's good, you like that, fill out the back of that sheet, put that in my door, or just, I tell you what, bring it to class when you see me next Wednesday. And then next Wednesday, we're going to hit the ground running with some of our chapter 1. Now, I'm going to load up assign 2 more videos for you to watch, so that, 1, you refresh that information. Actually, I'm going to cite 3 videos, and you're going to give me a paper on each video. Yeah, I know, I'm looking at the looks. Papers, 1 page, double spaced, 12 font. Why do I have a paper? Because this course, this class, this program you're in is not based on what you can read. It's not based on what you can listen to or videos you watch. How I assess, is all based on output. What you can write, what you can speak and talk about and discuss, and what you can perform. How you perform when you go to a certain device. Can you turn it on? Can you troubleshoot it? Can you put it on a patient correctly? Can you understand that there might be a problem with it? That is the nexus of our program. It's all output. Can you show proficiency in these modalities and in the critical thinking that's involved in taking care of people who are critically ill? So there's going to be much more focus on output. Output, output, output. That means writing, and that means discussing. So when you come to class next Wednesday, and you're sitting in front of me face to face, I expect dialogue. When you come to class, you've already pre-read the information. You've skimmed it, read it, looked it over, have some general idea. So if I call on you to discuss a concept that's in the reading, you can have at least some idea of what to talk about. Do not come to my lecture without having read anything and then expect me to spoon feed you. Those days are over. Now it is time to start taking on more of the responsibility of learning. No, so one of the videos I'm going to assign is one you've seen before, How to Learn in a New Normal. In that video talks about the requirements of the program, that we are in the higher part of the triangle of Bloom's taxonomy. So when you see the video, the PowerPoint, it'll be a PowerPoint, you'll see the Bloom's taxonomy. In that, you'll see where you are at the top. So you have to be able to discuss concepts, you have to be able to analyze, evaluate, and that goes to what am I seeing, what am I hearing, how do I treat the patient based on what I see. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up, and then again, you're going to have um, 3 assignments and 3 papers due. They will all be due before 7 a.m. on next Wednesday. If you have any questions about anything, email me, and then I will answer you as timely as possible to answer emails. Other than that, you'll get graded based on what you write. And then we'll start our lecture on what to read in chapter 1. Again, the light is coming in. That's why my camera looks off. All right. In the book, in the video, I'm going to give you how to read your textbook. You're going to watch that video, give me a paper, and it's going to tell you to hit all the highlights. The highlights. So you see someone says a larynx there, that's something. All right, we should have some idea what a larynx is. Endotracheal tubes, all the clinical connections. You need to read the clinical connections. Why? They connect all the information I'm teaching you to a clinical scenario, which is working knowledge. Excuse me, I'm going to close this window. There we go, a little better. All right, so it's going to tell you in your video on how to read your textbook, look at the table of contents, then look at all of the highlighted, bolded text. Those are information that the textbook deems important. And clinical connections. Clinical connections. Because croup, or where the endotracheal tube is in the wrong position, can affect your patient's overall health. And that ties information that we're talking about to it directly to how your patient, the symptoms they may display. So you want to read, for example, clinical connection 1.15. 1.15. So about hazards associated with endotracheal tube. You bet there's going to be questions on the exam on hazards associated with the endotracheal tube, because you're going to be putting in endotracheal tubes. You need to know the hazards that are associated with it. That's working knowledge. So when we go through clinical connection 116, putting it in the right main stem. What happens when you put it in the wrong spot? This is all information that is required in my class. And we'll go through it more next Wednesday, but when you're reading, then you get to the end. Yes, you get to the end. You got a chapter summary. It's the same thing that you're getting in the videos, right? That young lady's talking about how to read your textbook. Chapter summary. If you can summarize everything in this chapter, you have a pretty good idea of what's in here. Yes, if you've done that. And you can discuss those concepts. And you can answer the review questions at the back of the chapter. And you filled out your workbook. And if I ask you a question, you could have a discussion with me. I would say you've done your part in learning. Yes? So that's the requirement of this program. And again, it gets more and more difficult as we go through, because the requirements are that you can discuss concepts that you've learned before. You're now having to cram all of your learning into 3 days instead of 5. You have clinicals to get over and recover from those 12, 14-hour days. So having the right attitude, taking care of yourself, trying to get as much sleep, nutrition as you can, and you cannot do all your learning in a short period of time. You must space it out, because your brain will not hold on to the information. It needs little chunks over time in order for it to cement into long-term learning. If you try to cram it all in a short period of time, you go to sleep, it falls out. And I'm working on getting you a video on that, as well as how you learn, right? So the more you can be aware of how you actually learn, the more efficient way to learn, then it's better for you as a student. All right, that's probably all I have for you right now. Again, I'll be loading up your assignments, and then I will see you all bright and early next Wednesday. Looking forward to seeing your faces. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.